Welcome to the analyst.
God.
What the heck?
What was that?
Is that a bunch of like little children? That was
Sports
creepy.
Analyst.
Wow.
New sound
that
effects
was
to the repertoire.
no
How's it
that
going,
was
everybody?
weird.
No.
Hey,
I'm
Jacob, what
scared.
exactly was that?
A
What
sound
exactly
effect.
was the name? What is
It says
sound
hello.
effect? What was the name of the sound effect?
Hello.
Children. What the heck? Do you
Are
have
you
like?
afraid of?
Oh.
Wait, hold on, Adam. Are you afraid of children?
No, it's just really. I have a nephew. I have a 5-year-old nephew. It's just creepy. The way they
I
say
think
it. I don't know.
You
it's
know
just
what? I think it was lovely.
Not scared of children.
But of
I don't
course,
know.
welcome back
Jacob,
to
I'm
the
so
episode,
thankful you didn't make me uncle.
and welcome to part 2. Welcome to part 2 of the mid-season grades. We went through the Atlantic in part 1, which dropped
What a way to
right after
start.
the gold medal game of Canada versus US. But we're not here to talk about Canada-US. We've already cried enough about it. Let's dive right into this. But first, we got to go over the awesome panel we got today. We have Mr. Lane Dashing Dash.
What was that?
We have the man of many names,
Someone like died.
Mr.
One name.
Adam,
One
who
name.
was not bit by a spider. He was bit by a goat.
Hello.
Oh
And
no, that was creepy. No.
we have
Oh.
the man with many jerseys, Mr.
Oh,
More for your money.
Woo! What was that?
What the heck are these sound
It
effects?
sounded like a
These
fart.
sound effects are terrible.
We got a show to do, everyone.
Oh no, okay, Jacob. We need to introduce you with a sound effect. So you need to do
And
sound
of
effect for
course,
yourself.
Oh yeah, I gotta do
Everyone
it. I'll
knows
do it from,
me. As
Yes,
the analyst.
Lane has to do it. Lane has
Always.
to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, had to pick a creepy.
How come
one,
he gets a
Lane.
cool one? I get a
Yeah,
fart.
why does he get? Yeah,
He's-
why does
he's
he
gonna
get
get-
the cool one? And we get the weird, creepy one. Thank
Gets-
you. There you go. That's the
Not
mysterious
just
Jacob-
one.
ask like that
Jacob
by Eminem's
bouncing
gonna
on
start
in.
playing.
I like that.
But guys, we
There
have
you
a
go, that's
lot
better.
to go over. So let's dive right into the Metro. And I want to
Yay.
start off with, I think, the team that maybe now is a little more confusing than what it was 24, a couple days ago.
Yep.
The Pittsburgh Penguins.
I knew it.
The biggest fear happened when the NHL went to the Olympics. One of
Yes.
its superstars.
Get it
The
alive.
superstar.
That was the biggest fear.
So what did Pittsburgh going into this? I had them in buy-ish mode. Like, they're a good team, but I don't think they're a cup contender. But as long as Sidney Crosby is healthy and you think you feel your team can make a run. Now, Crosby said he was close to playing, but
Mhm.
close only counts in
70%.
horseshoes and hand grenades. So what do you guys think about the Pittsburgh Penguins situation? And what would you give their season assessment first? Lane, I will start with you. The floor is yours.
Well, I think you kind of hit it on the head there, right? Like, so, without the Olympics and unfortunately what happened, but we're not getting into that. But we'll talk about what happened with Crosby, with Radko Gudas getting injured, having a foot injury. We don't even know really what's going on there. We don't know how good the foot is. At this point at the season, Kyle Dubas would be silly not to sell, because you look at this team and how much value these players are going to get you right now with, these players that are, you may not be able to trade half these guys again, right? And this is a team that was probably not going to win a Stanley Cup, even if they did make the playoffs. It was going to be one of those, you never know, miracle runs that maybe we could see if Crosby had one less gas in him. But at the end of the day, this is not the Stanley Cup team favorite. And if Sidney Crosby's not going to be around for much more of the season, and his health will probably be as the best, Malkin's still older, Yalatang who's older, I would sell. And I'm not saying that it sucked, because unfortunately Kyle Dubas did actually put it together a really solid team this year for Mr. Sidney Crosby to actually give him a chance to win the Stanley Cup. Maybe have that one last miracle on ice, since we like to throw that phrase around the last 24 or 48 hours. But now that it's kind of hit the fan, I would sell. I'd just be like, get rid of it all. Go garage sale.
Wow.
But I'll give them an A+ for what they tried to do. But I feel like the grade it's going to take a hit, but it's not because their fault. It's just the Olympics kind of took their grade down. But I'm in full sell mode now. If Crosby is out 100%.
Wow. I mean, I think the $1 million question, even though Lane, you just really dropped the base with that one there. But I think the big question is Sid the old man kid? How close is he to actually playing? And I think Pittsburgh, I'm putting them in the same situation as the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think they just need to be patient. Patience is a virtue. Let's just wait it out, see what it is. I would give the team as a grade, I'd give them a B-. I do like what Dubas did in some ways. However, I still think he needed to realize that probably a core of Malkin, Letang, and Crosby is probably going to get hurt at some point because, they are closer to the seniors sale at Wendy's than they are to the kids meal at Wendy's. So it's in a spot where this team the window is closing.
Jacob, so I interrupt you.
Dan. I think if the window was closing, they needed to add a little more than Chilov's and keeping Raquel to really give this team a real go.
I gotta say one quickly, Jacob. You're not telling the full truth about the Wendy's situation. Because when we were in high school, you got the seniors discount for being a senior student.
I did. They said I was very charming, so they gave it to me anyways. They wouldn't give it to me again. But
you got once.
I did. But I do think for Pittsburgh, they're in a I think they need to, like what we said about Toronto on the previous episode, you might just want to play your next couple games and see where you're at. But Mr. Adam, the GOAT, the floor is yours.
I never get a round of applause. The crowd hates me.
Too much clapping. I will say this. I think they're still in buy mode. I don't know why they wouldn't be at this point. Because Crosby had a 70% chance of playing literally before today. Yesterday, he had a 70% chance of playing. Well, he had a 70% chance of playing in the gold medal game. It doesn't matter, Lane. It doesn't matter what we think. It's what we've been told. So it doesn't really matter what we think at the end of the day. It's what we've been told. And it was the only information we knew heading into the game. So there was the chance that he played. 70% chance that he played in that game. And so if he didn't have it, he would have been ruled out literally the day before the game anyways. So I don't think he's seriously hurt, because if he was seriously hurt, they wouldn't have given him a chance to play anyways at the end of the day. And they've at 29 wins. They're 29, 15, and 12.
Second in the Metro.
That's 70 points. They're the second best team in the Metro. And they've given up, mind you, I thought they would have given up more than this given their goaltending situation at times. 169 goals. They've scored 192 times. Now, I would still buy, because the goal coming into this season, despite last season where they weren't great, if their goal to getting into this season was to still try and win a cup, I don't think you veer off of that despite the potential of Crosby being hurt, because you don't know how long he's actually hurt for. So I think you're still in buy now. You're still in buy mode until you know if Crosby's out long term. If Crosby's out long term, then I think you pivot, but I don't think you sell. I think Pittsburgh, if Crosby's out long term, you sit, because I don't think there's enough on the roster that they could sell to get meaningful assets back anyways. Unless you want to give away Rutger, McGroarty, and Kindell, they're young guys, but no team with an aging core like Pittsburgh should be giving up their young guys anyways. I don't think there's anything on their roster. Maybe Brian Rust, maybe some other guys, but I don't think there's anything
on an expiring contract.
Evgeny Malkin, yeah, but I don't think Evgeny Malkin's going to want to leave Pittsburgh. I think he has a no move anyways, so it doesn't
just
really
give him two girl, as he said. The street.
So I think they should either be in buy or just wait and sit, like Jacob said. I don't think they should sell, because I think at this point, it just wastes all the work that you've already done heading into this season. And I think you're going to have to go into win now mode next year anyways with Crosby, because you can't do a rebuild with Crosby still around. That's just not something you can do. You can't do it with Erik Karlsson's salary sitting around. You have to, either way, they gotta win now. They can't just sell the farm and then try and do it again next year. That's not how this is going to work for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh are going to have to do it again next year anyways. So you might as well just stay the course now. Like, I don't think there should be any difference in how they react to this, even if Crosby's hurt long term. Like, I don't think there's a reason to blow it up. Like, that's all I think.
Adam, I just was going to ask you quickly because I just wanted to add it down to your point, just because I didn't want to interrupt, but I want to ask something because but I think you just addressed it. What if, like, I was just saying, like, what if, like, what Team Canada was saying was just a load of cap just to try to throw Mirk off? Crosby is actually hurt long term, and that was just kind of like trying to play in their mind. We actually find out Crosby can't come back. Would that change your mind? But I guess I think you just answered
it doesn't.
No, okay, that's fair.
It doesn't.
I just want to throw it up.
No way does it. No, it was never going to change my view.
I will say too, I don't think Crosby's injury is super long term, considering he was out like with the team for the medals on skates. So like he can skate, he can move. He looked very angry. He looked like Dan when there's a long lineup at the bathroom. He looked very mad. But Dan,
dude, when you got
middle-aged
But Dan, what's your thought? What's
Dan.
your thought on the Pittsburgh Penguins? Remind you, they're second in the Metro, 8 points behind Carolina, 1 point ahead of the Islanders.
You saved the best to last, right? And
Jacob's last, technically.
No, Jacob already gave you.
No, Jacob already went.
Oh,
Jacob already said his point.
Yeah. Jacob and Lane, I love you guys. I 1000% disagree with you. I agree with Adam on this one. I think the Pittsburgh Penguins are 1000% a buying team. And I'll tell you why. I actually give this team an A+ for this season, which might sound crazy, but I think by far the Pittsburgh Penguins is the most improved roster in the Metro Division. 100%. They addressed all the key issues. They didn't go out and do it with a superstar. They were sporting cast, but they addressed all the key issues. They got Shelovs as a backup goalie. They got Skinner with Skokie Black Kulak, and they got Weatherspoon in the offseason that really helped with that defense. +2, you got Shea as a +21 right now. One of the best defensemen in the league, funny enough. Chris Letang was the guy I would have brought to the Olympics to add some more veteran leadership, but he did get injured. And you got Carlson, who's played well. Anthony Mantha, I think, was one of the best free agent pickups in the offseason. He has been incredible for Pittsburgh Penguins. Only, I believe, a $2.5 million cap space. He's got 42 points and a +14. Okay, you got some nice little additions like Tommy Novak, who's been really good for this team. You got some super Wookiees like Kendall and Justin Brieux, what his name is, done really good. Connor Dewar, I thought he was kind of useless, but he's having a very good season. 24 points, +11. The only ones that kind of Matt Dubba was a super nice pickup. He just haven't been healthy. You have that. I can't pronounce the name. Russian dude from Columbus, Tinkoff. He's been a nice addition for Pittsburgh, right? The only issue with Pittsburgh is a little bit of injuries. Nolan Acciari was injured for a while. Kevin Hayes was injured for a while and has not recovered at all. I don't know. I was never a huge Kevin Hayes fan to begin with. Matt Dubba was injured a lot, but since he's been back, I've been happy with him. I don't know what happened with Werkel. I think he's really suffered this season. He's still getting 18 minutes of ice time. He only has 24 points. And he only played 35 games, mind you, but I expected a little bit more from him. But the fact that they made all the things had to be addressed. Secondary scoring, secondary defense, goaltending. They did all three things in the offseason without trading a superstar, without trading a super Wookiee draft pick. And now I don't know because of the injury reserve how it is, but as of today, Pittsburgh still has $11 million in cap space. Now that will fluctuate depending who comes back healthy, but if you have a good serious amount of chunk and cap space going into the trade deadline, you can seriously buy. And this is could be the last chance to get with Crosby and Malkin. I think I could see Malkin going to Washington this offseason. I think Crosby will come back. I think Crosby is good enough to play starting next week. I think he will play. And I give this team, as much as I don't like Doofus, he's done an amazing job. So A plus.
What's
I
interesting
give
though,
this
Dan,
team
you
a grade.
mentioned.
I didn't give this team a grade, Jacob. I want to give
What's
my
your
team
grade,
a grade.
Adam?
Sorry, just for a second. A. I forgot to give them a grade, so it's A.
Fonzie, very nice. I'd say with it's interesting, Daniel, you mentioned Raquel not having as good of a year this year. I will say it's interesting. All of us are saying Pittsburgh is having a good year. I think I was the lowest at a B plus, but still pretty solid. So is Raquel the piece you moved to try to bring in the missing piece? Like,
No.
are you calling? No, hear me out. Are you
I don't think there's any
calling over the
value.
Nashville Predators? And you are saying I will trade you Raquel and a couple and a top first or second round pick. Send Steven Stamkos over to Pittsburgh.
I wouldn't do that because
I would do that 100%.
I think
I don't think Raquel has the value to do that.
I think Raquel he's had some big moments in the Pittsburgh jersey before, and you want someone for the playoffs, that's a solid secondary scoring. He has chemistry with Crosby and Malkin, which not every player does. We always just talk about the success stories of like Chris Kunitz and Marian Hossa and Phil Kessel that played phenomenal with these two guys. So there are a lot of guys that failed too. Like, I didn't play well with these guys. So when you have someone that has history playing well with those guys, in my opinion, you have to keep it. You're trading draft picks, you're trading prospects, and you're going for a cup. I really think this team is really close to winning a Stanley Cup.
Would it not be hilarious if Stuart Skinner wins a cup in Pittsburgh?
Well, that's the other thing, too. That's the other comment I wanted to make. We all made fun of Stuart Skinner in Edmonton, right? Now we can really see the test. Was the problem Stuart Skinner, or was the problem the Edmonton Oilers? And,
the Edmonton Oilers.
I'm really curious to see. I did have another amazing point, but I don't for the life of me remember what that point was.
Stuart Skinner, by the way, since joining Pittsburgh, his stats aren't terrific.
No.
However, he's been good of late. Like in 13 games, he's 8-4 with a shutout, a 2.72 goals against average, and an 887 save percentage. However, you look in his last five, he's got two of them with really high save percentages. He's playing well. He's winning. He's won 4 of his last 5 starts. He's finding a way to win games for the Pittsburgh Penguins. But I know, Lane, you have a point you wanted to make towards what Dan was saying, but I think you wanted me to roll a special little bumper for our favorite game show, Gas or Ass.
Damn you.
Okay, so I know we got to get through a whole division, so we can't spend a lot of time on this. So I want you quickly, just one sentence, gas or ass. First thing that comes out of your mind. But here's my question: Kyle Dubas with full reins was better. Now that he has the full reins, can actually do what he wanted with the team. Unlike in Toronto, when he was handcuffed from MLSE presidents. Gas or ass? He's better when he actually can do what he actually wants to do.
Gas.
I'm gonna say ass because he was handed Crosby.
Sorry.
I'm going to say ass because he was handed Sidney Crosby. I mean, I think anyone named Sidney Crosby, it's kind of easy.
I think it's gas.
Just add to Lane's
moves. He's made some good moves.
Just add to Lane's point. As much as I don't like the guy, well, I can't say I haven't met him. I don't like how I see him on TV. I gotta say gas because what I wanted to add, I forgot about, I remembered when the donkey butt came up. This team was donkey butt last year. This team didn't even make the playoffs. So you got someone that didn't even make the playoffs to second in the division, which I think is a very competitive division, as we'll go through later on this episode. Very competitive division for second. And we didn't do about rebuilding. We just retooled some supporting staff. So I got to give Doofus a great job here.
I mean, the good thing about Dubas, I think a lot of people won't give him credit for, and I know me and Adam argued this, but I got to give him credit. His sports science background at Dubas, I think does add a lot to a team, even though he kind of approaches it in a weird way by looking at analytics as the reason to win a thing. But the way he goes about putting together like a medical team, a statistics team,
right.
The background, all the background people that Dubas puts on his team, like a capologist, a medical sports scientist, this kind of guy.
That's a good point.
A special doctor for your meats. Like all these guys that he hires, I think he does a good job at putting that together.
That's the doctor you want discreetly to send you packages.
I just think he does a good job of putting a good background cast for a team to succeed. He gives them a good tools, but sometimes he goes too much in the roster on that.
But guys, I don't mean to burst your bubble, but
these sound effects are horrible.
And
what is that?
I'm looking at
I don't know. That was a door.
I'm looking at Kyle Dubas.
The door was like...
Guys, I'm looking at Kyle Dubas, regular season success. Who cares? Until he's built a team that goes on a deep playoff run. Everyone said in Toronto they wanted Dubas gone because he didn't get playoff results. So he's made Pittsburgh a good regular season team. Let's see if this team can win a couple rounds. Let's see if they can make it to the third round to then get their butts kicked by Carolina.
Okay, I give you that.
But I think with Kyle Dubas, he's done a nice job. But overall, I think you guys are hitting the. But I think we need to move on from Pittsburgh.
We're not even at Carolina yet.
And let's go into Carolina. I want to talk the top dog of the Metro. And I think this is pretty easy to say. They're the king of the Metro. I think this season's been fantastic for them. I think they have one of the better goal differentials in the league. They're good on the road. They're good at home. They constantly go on long winning streaks. This team's phenomenal. However, they must be looking for one more piece. Like season grade, obviously, for me, it's an A. I mean, you can't really complain what this team does every year. But they need to bring in somebody. I don't know. I actually think I do know who it is. And I think you guys are going to think I'm a little nuts. But I think this is the perfect team to go and get Jordan Binnington for. I think they are. Everyone wants a superstar forward. I don't think Bussy and Anderson are getting you a Stanley Cup. No disrespect to either one of them. I think you want a guy that can go in there and make the big saves. Last year in the conference finals, Carolina's goaltending was horrendous. They need a guy that can go in there and when the chips are down, make a save. And Jordan Binnington, time and time again in every situation, and I get people are going to say, well, he lost the gold medal game. That game was not his fault. But at I think they need a guy that can go in and actually make a big save. Everyone goes on, oh, they need another goal scorer. Oh, they need more defense. I think Carolina's got a really balanced lineup forwards and D. I think they need a goaltender. I think Anderson is too old, and I think Bussy is too inexperienced. I think you need a guy like Binnington just to come in there and be the calm in the storm in a game in the third round to be able to get the job done. But that's my opinion on Carolina. Like, I arguably the best team in the East, A++++++, S tier team. But I think Jordan Binnington is the piece they need. Thoughts on that?
I can't disagree.
They have more issues than goaltending.
I agree with you, Jacob. I think he has some good points.
Who wants to go next?
I mean, you can easily flip Dougie Hamilton for Jordan Binnington.
Well, Dougie Hamilton's in New Jersey, so I don't know how you're going to do that.
I had in my head he was in Carolina, right? He's not anymore. But that's not the point. You'll flip someone.
May as well flip Jake Gardner if you're going to do that.
But Adam, it's interesting. You say they have more holes than that. So what's your thoughts on Carolina? What other do you think it's what everyone's saying? It's they need a finisher, they need a defender. You don't think you think it's more than just adding a quality veteran goalie?
So Carolina's whole issue has been for the last couple of years, and I don't think it's goaltending necessarily. I think the thing is they've ran the gauntlet in the Metro for what, like 3 straight years now, 2-3 straight years now, where they've been the best team. They've been the best team in the Metro Division for the last whatever how many years. They've now gone straight to the East Final. I think it's now 2 straight years. I don't know if it's 3, but it is 2. I know that. But you look back at and I don't think their issue is necessarily goaltending. That is the reason they haven't gone over the hump. I don't know what it necessarily is. I think their biggest, let's just look. They've been very good offensively and defensively. They're top 10 in both categories. They're great. Power play, Middle of the pack, they're 14th. Their penalty kill is 11th. So both are in the middle of the pack, kind of in there where they've both been good. But like you see, I think a big thing for Carolina is the drop off from like Sebastian Aho. It's Sebastian Aho, and then it's everybody else really.
No Jarvis, but yeah.
He doesn't have a big, humongous. He has an 8-point lead on Chechnikov. Then it's another 6 points back except Jarvis. But Jarvis has missed extended time. And Nikolai Ehlers has had a weak start, so he only has 43. And then it's Goss Despair, 38. A big thing is they don't get a lot of offense from their D-line. That's another thing. But like Logan Stankoven has had a disappointing season. Compared to he has only 25 points. Like you would expect him, I think they expect him to be better than what he is. But like you see, there's like a drop off from like the production from the big boys, which is where you expect a lot of your production to come from, to like how it is at the bottom. I think this team is going to be is probably going to make the Eastern Conference Final. But I think, and I don't, because Bussy's been very good this year, so the issue will be inexperience. But I don't think, given they have 3 goaltenders on their team right now, I don't think it's worth it for Carolina to go out and get a goalie at this point, because if you can't win with the goalies already on your team, then you've already had an issue in which you didn't build from the net. If they were going to build this team together, they should have already gone out and got their goalie. If they don't trust their goalies, then there's more issues than not. I think for Carolina, I think that shows a big thing. If they still don't trust the guys that they brought in, they re-signed Freddie Anderson. They wanted him here. They gave the net to a relatively inexperienced goalie, but like they already have 2 other goalies who weren't playing particularly great. But like I think there's more issues than not if you have to trust a rookie goalie in your net at this point, when you don't trust your other 2 goalies, which you're paying bigger money to at this point. I don't think getting out Jordan. I get it. Like I understand Jordan Binnington plays the big moments, but I think even if Carolina goes out and gets him, he is not the piece that gets them over the hump. I think at this point, like I think they need more from their depth. That's plain and simple. Like they're really good. They're a very good team, and that's the reason they've won games. But they need it. They need it down the stretch, whether that's going to go out and get another offensive threat to help their depth a little bit more, despite them being so good so far and being 6th in scoring. I don't think grabbing more scoring depth is exactly a horrid thing for them to do. But I mean, maybe you go ahead and get another offensive. Maybe you go ahead and get another offensive defenseman to help Shane Goss Despair, so he is not having to carry more. Because Keandre Miller, great player. I don't think you really want him to be your second highest point getter from the defense. Nishkinen, they're like Russian. I think he's Russian defenseman. I think he's a rookie this year. He's up there. Like he has 22 points. He's a point back at Keandre Miller, but it's like 23 to the 38 that Goss Despair has. I don't think you want an 18-point drop from your best defenseman to your second best, like in terms of point production. But like I think they have their already shut down guy in Jacob Slavin, who's going to be amazing. But like I think you need, maybe it's somebody else to help him shut down your top guys on the other side. Maybe it's something like that. I don't think I get it. I understand why people say everybody should be trying to add Jordan Binnington. I just don't think Jordan Binnington does. I don't think Carolina needs the goalie more so than other teams maybe need a goalie at this point.
That's fair. I mean, I do get what you're saying about the holes, but I also, and then we'll get to Lane and Dan, obviously, but I do want to point out they don't have a lot of necessarily superstars in their lineup, but they do have 10 guys with at least 20 points, right? They have
their superstar.
They have, there we go. They have at least 9 guys with at least 10 goals. And so they're a team that it's more about depth scoring and strong team play than it is.
That's why I'm saying that.
But I mean, so I get why you're saying that maybe you feel like they need to go out and get someone. I just feel like whenever it's been in the playoffs, they just haven't got a save. And I just don't know if I trust Brandon Bussey as much as he's had a great season. He's very young. And I mean, even great season, 216 goals against average, 908 save percentage. And 2 shutouts. Like it's decent, but it's nothing that I'm gonna like plan the parade over.
Yeah, I will say this though, Jacob, you're adding in Jordan Binnington for the moments of the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's not even, I will say this because I'll continue to say it. You're adding in a guy who's not even currently starting for his own NHL team. You're adding in for the big moments. Jacob, yeah, but you're adding a guy who is doubted by his own team. A team who's already won a Stanley Cup for. He's won the big moments for his own team. And they still don't trust him more.
When we get into the West, I can't wait to talk about how the Blues, I think, are the worst franchise in the NHL.
That's a concern.
But Lane, I can see you look more excited than when I found out that the cookies are on sale. So, what's your thoughts, Lane?
Oh, you got to full screen me. I'm dropping a bomb here. I need to get full screen. I just want to say thank you to Adam because he just gave me that idea. I just did the research on the cap widgets, and they can do it. I'm going to give you the magic recipe that Carolina needs to get 2 players, not a goalie, but I want to thank Adam because he gave me the idea for it. 2 players that Carolina needs to get, and they'll win this. No, I don't think win this, but they're going to go far. The first player is Nazem Kadri. Get some heart. That guy plays with a heart on his chest. He cares. He plays with passion. He's the tough guy that they have. There's no one that punches anyone around. They need someone with some physicality, with some grit, who's going to put the passion on the ice and wear that sweater. I think Nazem Kadri is the perfect fit up front for this team. And the second final piece that's going to complete this team, that's going to make them, what Donald Trump would say, the best team in the NHL. And this is what it is. We just did, and I got to give Adam the credit because he just mentioned it. What don't they have? Offense on the back end. Who's a player that can give you Batum on the offense on the back end? There's a guy on the LA Kings, and if I'm not correct, Adrian Kempe, he might be out because of an injury. So I'm thinking you go get Drew Doughty.
Oh my God.
Get him. Drew Doughty, Nazem Kadri. Add those 2 pieces.
Boy.
Yeah. Go get those guys. You get a veteran defenseman with offensive paralysis, a tough guy in Nazem Kadri. You add those 2 pieces, you're a cup contender.
Wow.
I love the Kadri take. I don't think Drew Doughty is going to be on the market, but I do love because I think he, as much as we'll get in LA more in another episode, but I think of LA they went and got Panarin and they can't really sell. But I do love the Kadri.
I love the Kadri take. That's original. I give you 1,000% credit for that because everyone's talking about Kadri to Toronto, Kadri at Colorado, blah blah blah. We all said that. Kadri at Carolina, I 1,000% see.
Well, didn't Kempe get hurt, or am I thinking of somebody else?
You're thinking of Fiala.
He did. You're right.
You're thinking of Fiala, who's hurt, but yes.
Oh, I got the wrong guy. My bad.
Kempe got hurt in the video game, Lane.
But Lane,
that's right.
What's your grade though for Carolina?
So it's gonna. I mean, I'm gonna give them a B+ because I just feel like even though they deserve an A, I just feel like they still have not addressed that need, and that's the thing that really frustrates with this team every year. We've talked. I swear, we've said the same thing for the last 6.5 years. Go get someone that makes you a difference maker. And they've tried. They tried with Randy, and I can't say that's not their fault. But they need to, I don't know, they gotta do the tampering better. They gotta talk to Vegas on how to tamper with players because my goodness, they're horrible at it. But get somebody who makes this team a difference. Like this team every year, they get to the second round and they can't get past because they don't have a difference maker. But the same thing for 4.5 years. They've got a great coach, they've got a great system. They got everything. They got a great GM. They just don't have that guy, and they've never addressed it. So I'm not going to give them an A+ when they haven't done the thing that they need to do to fix this team. When they do it, I'm going to give them the S+.
Okay.
Wow. I will say, Lane, I do love the idea of Nazem Kadri to Carolina. I think it'd be a really nice fit.
That's a hot take. I love that.
If you're going offensive defenseman, though, I'm actually thinking more if he's willing to waive his no move. I could see Morgan Riley going to Carolina. I think he'd be a perfect fit for that system. No. But Mr. Moore, for your money.
Yes, sir.
The man with the Jays hat that he has seen many wars.
It has 100%.
What's your thought process?
Okay, well, you can tell I'm very avid Jays fan because I'm sweating buckets on the edge of my seat wearing his hat. That's why it's the way it is. But anyway, moving on. Gotta try a whole dishwasher thing. Let me know in the comments if that actually works before I ruin my
Dan, we don't have a dishwasher.
Oh, scum. Scum. That's right. Yes, we don't. Okay.
I'll let you can borrow my dishwasher, Dan. Don't worry, I got you.
Thank you. Okay. Back to this one. I'm happy I'm going last because I really had to think hard about this one. Because I didn't know what to say. In theory, Carolina has done everything right. However, I'm not giving them A+, even though they're the best team in the division. I'm giving them an A because something in my gut is telling me this team's not quite fair. Jacob, I love you. I agree with you. Bennington's going to be on the move, but not to Carolina. I think Anderson's the right guy. I really do. I know he suffered in Toronto, but his numbers were not bad in any playoffs. I give Carolina, the reason why I give Carolina an A and not a B is because they did swing for the fences and got Rantanen. I know it didn't work, but they made the best out of the disaster by getting Taylor Hall, getting Stakehoven, who's been disappointed, and they got the biggest fist they possibly could with Nikolai Ehlers. They did everything they possibly could, but I still think it's not enough. I think what this team is missing, I know Aho's a good player, but I think what this team is missing is that dominant Rantanen franchise player. I think Panarin would have been nice. I don't know why Carolina didn't get him. I guess because Panarin didn't want to go there. But I think they need to get the biggest fist possible to get this team in the playoffs. And funny enough, the team, I just looked it up, Carolina is fully healthy pretty much, which is awesome. And they got $8 million in cap space. So if they move another roster player, they probably could get a $12 million player. And that's what this team is needing. And I give them credit. The young guys like Jason Blake, the Weston Adam was talking
Jackson
about.
Blake, not
very
Jason
good rookie.
Blake,
Jackson Blake. Sorry, Jackson Blake. My bad. He's been really good. The Weston's been really good. And the goalie, Bossy, he's a rookie as well. He's been really good. And just to add quickly, okay, and I was off topic, I'm going to add this here. Everyone goes on about Morgan Riley. Miller has the same cap hit of Morgan Riley at $7.5 million. Miller, you got a cool haircut, but I'd rather have Morgan Riley for $7.5 million, bro. Okay? I give Carolina credit for going out there, getting the big forward, and getting the big defenseman on free agents. You got to give them A++ on free agency. However, I think his team's still missing something. It's that big franchise player, but they just haven't had the chance to grasp yet. Probably because we're in Carolina. All these big players, if they want to go to Toronto, if they want to go to LA, if they want to go to Vancouver, if they want to go to New York, if they either want to go to a big hockey franchise or like a nice place. And Carolina's neither. No disrespect to people in Carolina.
Loves their hockey.
I'm sure they have a nice little pockets, but you know what I mean? No one like looks at the map and say, I want to go here, you know? And that's the problem with Carolina. So I'm not even saying it's their fault, but that's my thoughts on the Carolina Hurricanes.
And Adam, I realize you never gave your grade for Carolina as well.
He said B+, didn't he?
No, I didn't.
Lane
I'll
said
give
B+.
A, I guess. I don't know. I think they're a great team. I just don't think they're like necessarily there. And it's like we keep debating about it, but I don't think a goaltender. And no offense to Jordan Binnington, but I don't think Jordan Binnington changes anything.
No, he wouldn't.
I think they'll still look like I don't think Jordan Binnington's that good of a player that he changes it that much that Carolina is going to jump over the hurdle just because you add him.
Right. I agree with you on that.
I disagree, but hey, that's why that's
Jordan Binnington is not that great of a goalie, Jacob, in the playoffs.
He is when the games matter. He is when the games matter. He's shown that
he's
time
not good enough to push this team over. I don't care how many times he's shown it. He is not. I don't think he's not that great of a player to push Carolina over.
I think he is. I think you guys are underestimating Carolina's current roster. That's my
I think Carolina
I'm not underestimating anything about Carolina. I'm underestimating how good Jordan Binnington is in the moments because he wasn't that great in Game 7 for St. Louis. He hasn't been that great in these moments outside of wearing a Team Canada jersey, which is he's playing with an all-star roster, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
And since the 2019 playoffs, no offense to him, but I don't think he is enough to push over Carolina. And I don't think that's something horrendous to say.
I think
no, it's not.
I think Jordan Beach is phenomenal, but like
I'm in the minority on this. When I've done research for this show, no one's really saying what I'm saying. That's just my 2 cents.
No, and there's a reason why.
I think Carolina arguably has the best goaltending tandem in the NHL.
No.
Maybe not by numbers, but if you look at the guy, Wookiee goaltender has played incredible. And we have Frederick Anderson. He's a very calm, cool, collected, managed guy as the backup mentoring this super Wookiee. I think it's a perfect tandem of heaven. I really do.
It's not a tandem that's going to win you a cup, but let's move on.
Okay.
Again, let's move on to where do we go? Where should we be? Wherever my mouse lands is what we will see. Let's do the New Jersey Devils.
Ooh.
So the New Jersey Devils suck. I think that's fair to say. Minus 29 goal differential, 28-27-2. Second worst team in the East. They are 11 points out of a playoff spot and a 3-game losing streak heading out of the Olympic break. The season has been a disaster. I think this team's season has been a D-. It has been dreadful. I think if you're New Jersey, it is time to realize that this isn't enough and you need to sell but not blow up. And the reason why I say that is there are certain players that I think you need to look at and be like, who are guys that we think we want on this team 3 years down the road? And if they aren't in that conversation, then you move them for whatever you can get them. But I think you keep the Hughes. I think you keep the Hughes brothers you have. I think they have some talented players. I know you're going to move Dougie Hamilton, so maybe try to flip Dougie Hamilton for a first and a prospect, because that's probably what he'll get on this market of defensemen that are available. And you'd probably try to move Jacob Markstrom to a team that's looking for a goaltender, potentially Jake Allen as well, because I don't think either one of those guys are on this team 3 years from now. But I think New Jersey is the second, not just statistically, but realistically, one of the worst teams in the NHL this year. Especially, you got to remember, they started off really hot. So they have just completely, if a hockey team could be the Titanic, the New Jersey Devils have been the Titanic. So terrible season. Terrible season. Terrible team. They are the lowest scoring team in the East, and also allowing towards the top in goals against. They have a bad record at home, bad record on the road. They're just bad. Adam, you look distraught by my opinion.
I just don't know what you do. Like,
yeah, I know that's the problem.
Well, my whole thing is, because when I'm just looking at this team, I think a big issue is, well, number one, it's just Jack Hughes just cannot stay healthy this year. He's missed 21 games. Now, this is kind of crazy to think about. Jack Hughes has one less power play point than Nico Hischier has, and he's missed 21 games. Jesper Bratt is tied with him. Those are the top three. Jack Hughes has missed 21 games, and he's third in the team in scoring. Now, that is the issue. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's nothing, like, that's the story of their season. It's just Jack Hughes is third. He is 30. He is 6 points back in Nico Hischier for leading the team in points.
That's crazy.
He has missed 21 games. He has missed 21, and he's third on this team. He is 6 points clear of Dawson Mercer, and Dawson Mercer has played 21 more games than the guy. That is the story of their season. Like, Jack Hughes is probably, and I still think, like, Jack Hughes, when healthy, is their best player. Like, I don't think there's much debate about it. He's nearly at 100 points. But like, I think at this point, New Jersey just, like, I don't know what they did. I don't even remember the name of their GM, but whatever he decided to try and do with this team, I don't really care what his name is, to be perfectly honest. He's bad at
just giving you the name.
I don't care. I didn't hear what you said. I wasn't paying attention because
Tom Fitzgerald.
No,
former
still
Maple
don't
Leaf.
care. So I think you basically sell Bratt, You just sell what you can. Like Nico Hischier, you don't sell. He's your captain. He's your second best player. I don't think you sell him. You sell Bratt. You get what you can for Jesper Bratt. Jack Hughes, of course, you don't trade Jack Hughes because he's your best player. Dawson Mercer, you could try and get something for him. He has been Dawson Mercer, I guess, is how I can describe him. Timo Meier has a megally big contract, so he's going to be a pain to trade. And he's been horrendous this year. Luke Hughes, kind of can't trade him because Jack Hughes is on the team. Can't pronounce that guy's name, so not even going to talk about him. Connor Brown cannot be in your top 10 point scorers at 22 points.
He's had a good year, actually.
That's how bad they are. Is Connor Brown is very high on their list of point getters. And he's played 16 minutes a night. Yeah, no, Connor Brown is not. No, you can't be doing that. Dougie Hamilton's getting traded. Everybody knows that. Simon Nemec, can't trade him because he's one of your young guys. But, like, there's players to trade. Like, Jacob Markstrom, he's not been great this year. But when, like, Jake Allen is statistically your best goalie, you know you're in trouble at that point. No offense to Jake Allen, but...
I like Jake Allen.
Yeah.
He seems like a guy that would make a good apple crumble.
If Genny Dadonov has no points in 17 games, that's not great at all for him.
Okay.
But there's a lot of issues on this team. Firstly, just because they apparently their GM doesn't know how to build a team. Apparently, he's inept on how to build a team around Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier.
Yeah,
two great centermen. You have an amazing 1-2 punch, and you somehow just completely like voided any type of skill around your team at all. So yeah, this has just been like a D.
They got the tied for the fourth worst goal differential in the NHL.
This has just been bad.
Only worse.
This is the second straight year this has happened to them.
Yeah.
Second straight year.
I have the Gasso ass.
Oh.
Damn it, Dan. I don't want to see that damn donkey ass again.
You know what, Adam? We know you secretly love it.
Gasso ass. I called it. Roll back the tape. None of you guys saw it. When we did our quarter season review, New Jersey was actually playing very well. And you guys said that Sheldon Keefe was a great coach. And I said, no, he was not a great coach. And look where they are now. Gasso ass. Sheldon Keefe is an ass. He's a bad coach.
That might be gas.
It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true.
Lane agrees with me. Jacob doesn't. What about you, Adam?
True.
I think you're lying.
I'm in the middle. I can't.
Okay, it's a thing.
I can't tell you
Subscribe to our
he's
channel.
bad because like I don't think it's his fault. If you think this is Sheldon Keefe's fault, I'm sorry. I'm gonna come out and just say it. I think you're an idiot. No offense to anybody who does think it's his fault.
I am quite proud
to
be an idiot.
Okay, can I continue? Yeah,
of course.
I just think you're an idiot because it's not his fault. The team around him is, out of any word, just awful. Like Timo Meier is heavily overpaid and hasn't been great in a couple years. Like Dawson Mercer, mind you, is like a third line player on any other team, but he's apparently their fourth best player in terms of points. You got Connor Brown on your team, played 16 minutes a night because you have nobody else because your GM doesn't know how to build a team. I don't think it's Sheldon Keefe's fault because he's been handed a bad hand by his GM.
Well,
his GM has done an awful job about building the team. Now, mind you, he has to go out and get results because that's just his job. But I don't think it's his fault. That's all.
Well, the thing is, if you look at New Jersey on paper, they have Dougie Hamilton, great defenseman. They have Jack Hughes, great franchise player. Got Myers, great players. I think I had the pieces. But I'll quickly wrap up here. I think this team is a D. I don't think you just
Dan and I
blow up the team, I think you grenade the team, you nuke the team, whatever you gotta do. And that includes trading the Hughes brothers. Whatever you gotta do, you gotta do it. I think Markstrom will get dealt. I think Markstrom's going to be one of the best picked up pieces of the deadline. The only reason why I give this team a D and not a D minus is I honestly believe Connor Brown was the best free agent signings this offseason. $3.5 million, 22 points. He played phenomenal in Edmonton through the cup ones. I swear to God, Connor Brown's a missing piece of this Toronto team. I said it last year. I'll say it again. They sell the farm, get Connor Brown, bring him back to Toronto. And Dantonoff was a great contract on paper. Okay, he had 40 points last year. He signed him for $1 million. I get that he's been hopeless in New Jersey, but you didn't know that before signing him. But besides getting Connor Brown and $1 million player, this team did nothing and hired the worst coach, one of the worst coaches in NHL history. So it has to be a D. And
Wayne
not
Gretzky was an NHL coach, Dan, remember that. Wayne Gretzky called a timeout up a goal in the defensive zone to do nothing, to let the team rest their top players, to put them back out and win the game.
Well, that's why I said one of the worst coaches, not the worst. But Mr. Dasko.
Dashko. The Dashinator, if you will. It's like the Terminator, but way better looking.
I said my thing very quick.
On the New Jersey Devils.
I won't go too much on them, but I think Dan hit a lot of nail on the head. This team is just horrible. Like, looked promising, and then I really believe, I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, I really believe that Tom Fitzgerald not landing Quinn Hughes was the blow to this team.
Yeah.
Not getting the Quinn Hughes brothers. I feel like the team maybe kind of felt like their manager doesn't care. Started to show on the on-ice product. I know Jack Hughes has been hurt, but definitely there's been other things. I definitely think this whole failure of not landing Quinn Hughes to play with his brothers really just took this team down a spiral down that they couldn't come back from.
Great point.
Hot take, Quinn Hughes would have made them worse.
Well, I don't know.
That's why I said hot take.
I disagree with that, but fair enough.
I'm burning my skin off. That's so hot.
Anyways, but yeah, I won't go too far, but I'm going to give them an F because I think this has been an abysmal season.
See, I remembered for the letter D this time for the best male human part. And because of the Connor Brown signing, I gave him a D and not an F.
Dan loves Connor Brown the way he loves William Nylander and Kevin Brown
because I'm using that to Gingers, but hey, he's a good dude.
Ginger Argo, though, great guy.
Oh, love Ginger Argo.
Let's move on to a team that I am very excited to talk about. My second favorite team in the East, the New York Islanders.
Oh, yeah.
And
Jacob's great.
Absolutely love this team. They're gritty. They play hard. They realize that even though Bo Horvat didn't work last year, they didn't panic. This team will probably make the playoffs. And I think this team will not just make the playoffs. This is a team that will surprise a lot of people. And I think Carolina will actually be given a run for their money by the New York Islanders because of the goaltending and the depth this team has. This team needs to buy. This team absolutely needs to buy. And I will say this is where I think Nazem Kadri will land at the deadline. I think you have Kadri to replace what Brock Nelson was before. And you have Horvat, Kadri, and Barzal as your core forward group. And I think this Islander team reminds me a lot of the Islander teams that went on deep runs, really good goaltending, depth at defense. Matthew Schaefer's a killer. He's got that killer instinct. I give the team an A-. I think they've really done a phenomenal job. You're getting great goaltending from Sorokin and Varlamov. I think this team is really going to surprise some people in the playoffs. I think if you go out and get Nazem Kadri and then you go out and maybe you look into
did you just say Varlamov?
You mean Sorokin?
Yeah, Sorokin, sorry.
I was gonna say Varlamov is not on this team anymore.
Yes, I meant Sorokin. But I've been an Islander fan for a long time. Riddick, yes, thank you. Big save, Dave. But
so Jacob, you say you're a fan of the Islanders, but you didn't even know their goalie. So I'm gonna call you out on that.
You know what?
It's been a long day.
Yeah,
I will say they are gonna go out and get Nazem Kadri and Jake McCabe.
Oh boy.
and turn this team into a real physical playoff team that's going to be so hard to play against. Most people have this team as a buy-ish, that, you know, they're kind of on the fence. I think this team will buy, and they will buy aggressively, and I think they will legitimately give Carolina a run for their money, because they're probably going to play Carolina first round. And I know I said Carolina's a phenomenal team, and they are, but I think the Islanders could legitimately give them a run for their money. I love this team. You guys probably are all going to say very different things than I am, and maybe these are my blinders just because I love this team. Or maybe you even call Seattle and see what it takes to bring Jordan Eberle back, because I don't know. I just think this team is going to make I think this team's going to make a big move.
Well.
Dan, you said well, so you go next.
Yes. Okay. Well, Jacob, I'm surprised you didn't give him an A+. So now we're one of your favorite teams. I give you credit by doing that. I think the Islanders are a very unique situation because they were horrible last year. They did not hit the panic button. They believed in their guys, and they've done an excellent job. I would say they're 100% buyers. I agree with Jacob on that one. I don't know why anyone would say sell. They're 100% buyers. This is a very competitive division, and they're right there. I'm just trying to think in terms of a grade, because you gotta give them credit that they didn't do anything, but did they get a high mark for not doing anything? I gotta say here, I am going to give the things this team has done is David Wittick, I think, was probably one of the best goalies in the free agent market. Like, on for $1 million. That was probably one of the best signing in the offseason. And Jonathan Drouin was a very nice small signing as well. You know, he was a former very high draft pick. He's not developed to the franchise player that we hope to be, but he's got 20 points in 51 games, so the Islanders is actually pretty good. I can totally see the Islanders getting Kadri, but there's a hiccup with that problem. And the Islanders, and this is the fifth point that affects my grade for the Islanders, because of the Rick Pietro contract is still paying, and because of the Pierre Enval contract you're stuck with.
Don't remind me.
This team is actually $3 million over the salary cap going into trade that night. So I don't know how on earth they're getting that with Kadri. But I do say you got to give credit for getting Matthew Stafford. That was the right first overall draft pick. I'm going to give this team, I'm going to give them a B+. I really think they've done a really good job here. I almost went an A, but the cap space thing's really bothering me with those contracts. You know, and I think,
fact, a lot of people were mad when they drafted Matthew Schaefer because of the injury last year, and those people look very silly.
Oh, for sure. He could win Rookie of the Year, possibly. Right?
He will win Rookie of the Year.
I don't even remember who went second overall.
Don't know. Bob Saget.
I think it's some guy on San Jose Sharks. But anyway, so I give this team a B-. I think they are biased at deadline. They just got to figure out the cap situation. I love the Kadri take, though.
Lane Dashco. I don't think you'll be as hyped as I am about the Islanders.
No,
but you might be with Dan. I mean, you're always with Dan. I know you two like to spoon, but what's going on?
I'm somewhere in the middle between you and Dan. So I'm somewhere in the middle between you and Dan. Like, I definitely get what you're saying, Jacob. I actually really like your suggestion because, like I said, you know me, I'm a passionate guy. I like what you're suggesting. I think that brings a lot of passion to that team. I think that Nazem Kadri and Jake McCabe would bring so much firepower and so much frolic.
You're not getting Jake McCabe.
You might.
Nah, Lisa buying.
Okay. Well, they shouldn't. But anyway, that's the point. We're not talking about the Leafs. I don't want to ever talk about the Leafs again. But my point is, you know, I'm about Jacob. You know, but I'm also with Dana. You can't really give at the end of the day, you still lucked into the lottery, right? You finished in a spot where you could jump up the spots, and you did jump up. But again, those are just balls bound. you won the lottery. At the end of the day, this could have been an entirely different team. They could have not had Matthews there. They could have, but you know what? You got to give them credit for picking the best player. Yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? They did win it. They got the best player. He's been the best player. He's turned this team into a 180. He's made them a crazy good team. They've played well. They've bounced back. This team has stuck with this team who actually is a team that sticks with their guys. Like, they don't trade their guys. They don't trade like a Cody Cizikas. They like, you get a guy on there, they stick with you. They believe in you. They
give
put
them
their faith in
contracts.
Yeah, but you do. Like, I'm just saying, they're not like a Vegas, right? Like, this is a team where you end up there, and if you're willing to sign, they will keep you on this roster, and they will make you cookies and brownies and love you and give you whatever you want, right? So I give them credit. They're great. They're run with a great organization. There's a lot of belief in their roster, and it's showing this year. And the team's finally kind of broken up from being a team that's kind of always been a bubble team, trying to make the playoffs kind of in and out. This team with a few upgrades, like you said, could actually be a serious threat. So I'm going to say B+. Can't give you an A because you lucked into it, but the fact that you did and you actually did the things, you've actually succeeded with what you did, I got to give you a high grade for that. If you can get what you're saying, it's an S+. It's a letter we don't even have on the grading system. It's a Z+.
Zed, we're Canadian. Adam, what's your thoughts on the Islanders?
Adam was so scared when you said his name. He's like, oh no, I got to say something else.
Late, it's my
He's
time
afraid.
to talk.
He's afraid because he's going to
talker.
give the Islanders like an F, and he thinks I'm
Okay.
going to kick him off the desk.
I'll just leave.
No, you got to be good to be lucky, and you got to be lucky to be good.
My favorite saying in life.
I don't think this Islanders team, I'm not as high, I will say, Jacob, as you are. I don't think this team, as currently
I'm
constructed,
so high on this team, I'm Snoop Dogg.
Jacob, as currently constructed, this team will not, I don't think, could do any damage in the playoffs.
Really?
Well,
Wow.
let me continue with what I'm going to say before
Oh, of
you
course. I'm just
say
saying. Wow.
that, Dan. But I don't think it's currently constructed, because I think a major concern, despite playoff games being low scoring, I think there are teams that are higher scoring that could be a concern, especially when they're playing Carolina. I think it could be a concern, their lack of offensive ability. But Ilya Sorokin is still hands down one of the best goalies in the league. There's a reason he is paid the money he is paid by the Islanders, and there is a reason he was never traded last season. But I think they need to go out and get something, because Matthew Barzal, Bo Horvat, and Matthew Schaefer is basically carrying the offense for the most part for the Islanders. And no offense, I don't think you can trust those three to continue to do what they do throughout the rest of the season. Matthew Schaefer has never played a playoff game before, so I think there is concern about how he will handle that pressure. But I think they have a lot of good pieces, depth pieces, but I think they need to add better. They need to add is basically, and I think they can make the playoffs, but I think if they run into a better team, they're going to get ran over, in my opinion. As good defensively as they have been this year, you're third in the league in goals against, but if you're getting constant pressure put on you, the dam is bound to get break, especially if you can't get offense. So I think their major concern is nothing defensively. You don't change anything defensively. You need to add offense. I just don't know what you add that is currently I think they should go after maybe Bobby McMahon. Go get a player on an expiring deal.
Actually, that'd be a great fit.
But you add pace, and you add a guy who's on pace for 20 goals this year, and you add a guy who's big and physical. He works because he throws around his body. He's not the biggest guy.
I can see him.
He throws around his body. He can score. Whether he could do it consistently in the playoffs will be the big thing. But I think adding somebody like Bobby McMahon, adding other better offensive pieces to add more offense alongside Matthew Barzal and Bo Horvat and try to do stuff more within the confines of the salary cap because they're not getting Nazem Kadri. That just salary cap wise won't work unless they dump money. But it's true, Jacob. You can't boo a fact.
I can do what I want.
Nah, that's not how that works, Jacob. You can't ignore facts.
Not communism.
Feelings. Stats okay, Jacob. More. Yeah, I could throw it right back in your face because you throw it at us all the time. So I'm throwing it right back.
That's true. But what's your grade, Adam, overall?
Ha! A, because they were the worst team in hockey last year. This was a train wreck last year, and now they're in the hunt for a playoff spot. How can you not give them an A?
I just think the Islanders have just proven sometimes the best thing to do is not much.
Literally.
That last year was a fluke and that they'd be back, and they have a really good coach in Patrick Waugh. But now let's move to a team that is on a very different spectrum to the Islanders. However, they are very close to them if you look on a map. The New York Rangers. I think when I said the St. Louis Blues are a dumpster fire, this is like the recycling bin fire. This team's terrible. They have a bunch of players that are.
Did you say St. Louis Blues?
The Blues. The Blues. I said were a dumpster fire,
but not in the Metro.
I know. We just mentioned them when I was talking about Jordan Binghamton. So calm your butt.
Oh, okay.
Relax, Lane. Get this man some Gaviscon because he's clearly upset.
Okay,
but I look at the Rangers.
Oh, that makes sense now. Sorry. Okay.
This team is an absolute disaster.
Oh my God.
Like they go
That's
out
putting
and
it
go, we're
nicely.
gonna fix the roster with JT Miller. Don't worry, guys. He will be our savior. He is the guy that will be the best player to ever touch bread. And he's going to play with Panarin, and it's going to be amazing. Well, guess what? JT Miller is, funny enough, your second leading point guy with 36 points in 48 games. They don't have a single point per game player. The only reason why they even won as many games as they did to start was because of Shesterkin. Jonathan Quick's only won 4 games out of his 19 starts. Like, this team is just, and there's no disrespect to Jonathan Quick, actually. I think
I was going to say, don't diss him.
I think Jonathan Quick on the
right Hall of
Famer,
Famer.
A great pick for someone looking for some depth in net. But you look at this Ranger team, Lafreniere hasn't worked out because of the culture. Vincent Trocheck is tied for second in points of 36. By the way, Lafreniere is third on your team of points of 32 and 57. Adam Fox is actually your highest point per game player with 28 points in 30 games. Your top five players, only one of them's a plus in Adam Fox. You'll actually, never mind that. You only have 3 plus players in your entire roster, which is one guy who's only played 4 games, one guy who's only played 14 games. And then it's like Adam Fox. So there's no one who's been playing consistently who is a plus player on this team. This team is just terrible. I think.
Don't disrespect Taylor Radish. He's a one.
He's a plus one. Okay,
Radish.
Sorry.
Don't get disrespected.
We're really pulling straws here if we're trying to be happy with a plus frickin' one. Like, I think you trade Zibanejad, Miller, Voracek, Lafreniere, Fox.
Can't trade players with no trade clauses, Jacob.
Well, they did it with Jacob Trouba. Just dump them all in the minors and make them leave. You already have that reputation. You may as well continue it. You got to do something. This team is just terrible. Why would anyone want to be here?
Jacob,
besides listening to the guys saying New York, New York.
Wait, Jacob, I'm telling you a player.
Make a Yankee happen. We'll figure some Yankee can.
Wait, all of these players have already got everybody else who's on the team who has any value already went to management when they traded Artemi Panarin. They offered them a way out. They all said they wanted to stay. None of them are going to waive because they all want to stay, be there, apparently. It doesn't matter if you don't care, Jacob.
Trouba didn't want to leave.
Yeah, Trouba didn't want to go, but then they
forced him out.
Went ahead and ruined their own reputation. But you can't ruin.
Terrible.
You can't do it to all of these players, though, Jacob. That's the issue.
Why not just call it the entire? Call it whatever their AHL team is, which is the Rochester, whatever they're called.
Americans.
Make them the New York Rangers and make the New York Rangers the Rochester whatever's.
Americans.
This Ranger team is just really, really bad. I think their coaching staff needs to be fired. I think the GM needs to be fired. I think the towel person needs to be fired. I think the guy that designed the urinals needs to be fired. This team is just absolutely terrible. By the way, Trocheck has a 12-team no-move clause. You can move Trocheck, you can move Blue, you can move Radish, you can move Carrick, you can move Gabe Perreault, you can Adam Fox as a full no-move. You can move. Oh my gosh, this team's in no-move hell.
Yeah.
You can move Jonathan Quick. I mean, I don't. It's tough because this team's in hell. They're still retaining $5.8 million of Panarin's salary.
Oh, God.
Like, this team is just. I don't know what you got to do. I don't know if you need to promise everyone extra cookies and oatmeal if they're going to waive their no move. But the GM's got to do something. Well, mind you, I think the GM should be fired. I think everyone should be fired. This team, they haven't won a cup since '94. Like, this team is a dumpster fire. And they're not going to make the playoffs. I don't care what the math says. There's no way in hell this team is going to go on a run. They weren't good last year. They're not good this year. Move anything you possibly can to get prospects and move on with your life. And to the players that want to stay there, I don't understand, besides going to Times Square for some good pizza or something, because this team is just terrible. I think this is by far, not just statistically by points, but by far the worst team in the NHL. I think the New Jersey Devils are more likely to win the Stanley Cup this year than the Rangers to make the playoffs.
I agree with that.
This Rangers team is just absolutely dreadful. They're a minus 29. They've only scored 151 goals all year. Do you know how many games they've won at home this year? 6.
I was going to say 4.
They're 6, 15, and 4 at home. Funny enough, they're actually decent on the road at 16, 14, and 2, which is really bizarre. So the players don't even play good here. You may as well move everyone. This team is bad.
Yeah, dude.
F. They get a Z. They're terrible. It's just, you know what? They don't even deserve the alphabet. They just get a binary code of 1s and 0s. This team sucks. This team is just bad.
I literally couldn't sum it better myself, Jacob. The only off-season move they made was Gavrikov, which is a decent defenseman from Columbus. But guess how much they paid him? Okay. $9 million with a cap hit of $7 million. Morgan Riley looks better and better every day. I mean, so, and like, we made a big move last year with Miller, and it didn't work. So I do remember this time that D is in the alphabet, but this team's so bad they get an F. Absolute fail. And I guarantee Matt Wempe will get picked up on trade deadline.
Oh, good Lord. If he is a piece that you're happy about, you know this team's a huge problem.
Yeah. That's all
Lane
I
Dashing Dashko. Are you as put off of the Rangers as I am?
I am, actually. This team is just, like you said, I don't know what's worse than terrible, but I'm sure if you found the word for it, it'd probably be the New York Rangers. Like, now, the only thing I just wonder, do you think maybe winning gold can boost some of the spirits? Like,
no.
You got the coach who just won the gold medal. You got Trocheck, JT Miller.
They're 19 points out.
No, I know, but at least, like, maybe not to make the playoff, but just to play decent hockey at this point.
I think they want to tank. Go get Gavin McKenna.
Maybe that
Don't make fun of his mom, but like,
it's not a bad idea. I said that the Leafs should do that a few months ago. I said, you might as well just start losing. And at this point, you're the Rangers and you can't move anyone. You're kind of like the Leafs, but you're way worse point situation.
You're way worse than the Leafs.
No, I'm just saying, but you're in a similar situation where you really can't trade anyone.
They're not in similar positions, but we've already talked about this, I feel like.
No, but I mean, like, trading. Like, they can't really trade anybody. I'm just saying trade-wise, like, you can't really trade anyone. It's the same thing. Like, they're stuck in the same sort of boat. Like, you want to trade somebody?
Except for they're actually bad team.
Yeah, but anyways, maybe you go get Gavin. Maybe you try to go get Gavin McKenna. Maybe you try to pull out Islanders. Maybe you go get Gavin McKenna with his new attitude of being a bad boy and scoring now. Now he's been around. So he's like, I'm a bad boy now. I'm getting 11 points in 2 games. Take that. Maybe he's the guy you need to fix this team. True superstar.
Yeah, I mean, But what's your grade, Lane? Are you also in like the Fs?
Oh yeah, like
Okay.
below.
Adam, are
No, I should
you
push
going
this
to
team.
join the quadruple F club? Or are you going to keep us triple Fs?
I don't really care. I have nothing to say. They're bad at hockey. It's literally the only thing to say.
So
They're
does
just
bad at hockey
No,
equal
they
F?
don't get a letter grade. They don't deserve a letter grade.
They don't even deserve a letter
They're
grade.
not bad enough to have a letter grade. They're not even in the same like hemisphere. Like they don't deserve. I don't know why you guys gave them letter grades. They're not good enough to. I don't even know why. Like we're even talking about them. They're that bad. They're just bad.
Well, let's move on then.
Why are we talking about a professional hockey team that doesn't exist?
Yeah,
New York
literally.
Rangers
They're not a
don't exist.
professional hockey team.
They got
They're not a
a
professional
sell.
hockey team. They don't exist. There's nothing. There's one team in New York, and
If
that
the
team
Devils
we're
were the
talking about.
Titanic,
I
what
don't know
are
why
the
we're talking
Rangers?
about these guys. So let's move on because there's nothing else to say. They're bad. They don't deserve a letter grade. They don't deserve my time to talk about. So let's move on.
Literally.
Dan,
On to the next.
if the Devils are the Titanic,
On to the
the
next
New
one.
York Rangers are a Titanic remake made by a bunch of high school kids who forgot to hit record.
Oh, wow.
But let's
I've
move
seen that
on
movie.
to a more interesting team, and I want to talk the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Ooh.
Currently
I
4
do not
points out
wanna
of a
talk about
playoff
Columbus Blue
spot,
Jackets.
a +2 goal differential. I don't think we'll need to spend as much time on Columbus as we have on some other teams. I think they're kind of at a cautiously buy but not sell the farm. I would probably put this team around a B+. I think considering the tragic passing of the Gaudreau brothers, which really threw a wrench in this team's plans.
Yeah.
Plus the tragedy of I'm totally gapping on the goaltender's name, but the goaltender that saved the other goaltender's life by jumping from a firework.
Oh, wow.
They've had a lot of really bad luck, and they've still
man.
managed this year to be competitive. They have a lot of good young players, Adam Fantilli, just to name one of them.
Oh,
I really like this blue Werenski as well, arguably one of the best offensive defensemen in the NHL. I think this team is good. They're 9-1 in their last 10 coming out of the break. B+. I wouldn't sell the farm yet because I think even if they make the playoffs, they'll get dummied in the first round. But I think all things considered, they've done a really good job with this group.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think
so. Lane, you're also going to give them like around that B+.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I don't know if they should buy because again, I just don't think it's worth yet. I don't think they're at that stage that they want to buy to get competitive because I still think there's some things missing. I just don't think it's quite there, and I don't think it's worth getting rid of everything just to try to make your team a little bit better. Like, I don't think this team can go deep, but I do like where this team. I think this team is heading in a positive direction. They're starting to figure things out after losing Johnny Gaudreau. You said they've had some really bad luck in franchise history. It's been a kind of a team that's been kind of in the middle a lot, but I think they're finally starting to figure it out. But they're a really competitive team this year. I like what I see, but I just don't think they should go crazy buying this year.
What do you think, Dan?
Well, you think I'm a little crazy here. I think it's a very different situation. I'm not comparing the two situations before anyone says I am. But I think the Columbus Blue Jackets are in a very similar spot to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
What?
Johnny Gaudreau let me finish. Johnny Gaudreau passed. Very sad, very tragic. Mitch Marner left. Both teams, they lost in a different way, obviously, but both teams lost a 100-point guy, and they couldn't really replace him. And the Columbus Blue Jackets are in the exact same spot where, like, they're kind of in the playoffs and they're kind of not. So I don't think we can literally say yet if they're buying or selling, like the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think it depends on the next 5 or 6 games between the Olympic break and the deadline. The thing that's very unique about the Columbus Blue Jackets is you almost have to say they're buyers because they went out and bought Mason Marchment, which made no sense to me. I don't know why they did that, but the point is they did it. So because they did that, they're always kind of committed to it. It's like when you're trying to swim with the floaties on for the first time and you get your 1 foot in the pool and then you got to jump in and put both feet in the pool. They're kind of there. They got the 1 foot in the pool of the Mason Marchment trade. As terms of a grade for this team, I'm not saying it's disrespectfully because it's not their fault. They got Charlie Coyle, which I think Charlie Coyle they overpaid for in free agency. But if they do make the playoffs, Charlie Coyle's the type of guy you want. He failed miserably in Colorado last year in the playoffs, but he's looking really good in Columbus. They got good young rookie goalies. They got Glenwiski, the best defenseman in the league. They got some good young players. I'm going to give this team a C+.
Okay. I mean, comparing
That's
Mitch
such
Marner,
a long explanation for why you're giving them that.
and I think
Well, because I have to explain, because like saying that they're like the Maple Leafs is crazy because you can't compare. What happened to Johnny Gaudreau was horrible. Rest in peace, very sad. But the matter is, the same result happened. They lost 100-point guys.
Mm-hmm.
Did Johnny Gaudreau actually ever score 100 points?
He was close in Calgary.
I think Calgary, I think he was around that mark. But Adam, what's your thoughts on Columbus? I know you don't have too much to say on them, but what's kind of your grade then just overall?
Columbus. Columbus is my answer.
Good answer.
So that means C then, because C starts with...
No, my answer is Columbus because they're Columbus. They're
Christopher Columbus.
They're just them. They're themselves.
Mm-hmm.
From the last couple of years, they haven't done anything since they slayed the Tampa Bay Lightning, the 60 whatever way Tampa Bay Lightning team.
Dan, we don't talk about that.
Dan, don't interrupt me. Banish Dan. Dan's not allowed to speak. But I just think that they're in a weird. Columbus is in a weird situation that, they're there, but they're not there. Of course, rest in peace, Johnny Gaudreau. They're just floating.
The only thing I guess what I meant about Columbus is they've dealt with so much.
Is my grade.
Okay.
They've done the best they can given the situation and given the grief.
That was kind of my thing.
But they're just kind of. But Jacob, before you rudely interrupted me and allowed me to finish my point, as you always do, Columbus are a B. They're just floating, They're just floating along, waiting for something to happen.
Adam, you're
the
so
kid from. No, I'm not.
You're like a millennial who just ate a Tide Pod.
You're just.
I'm also a millennial, but I've never ate
Jacob.
I'm just Jacob. Thank you. I'm just Jacob. That doesn't work like I'm just Ken or I'm just Pete. Anyways, let's move on to a team that I think Dan and I are going to argue on a lot.
Did Lane say he's been with Columbus?
Yeah.
Okay, thought so.
Yeah.
You went first.
Oh, yeah, Jacob.
Dan, get out.
I don't know about my take on Columbus was crazy. I love it.
Okay. The Washington Capitals, I think, are...
That's like my New York Islanders. I love this team.
They are the third most disappointing team in the East this year. They went from looking like a real contender last year, but then said they were too focused on Ovechkin breaking a goal record. And now that he's done it, this team just looks very uninspired. I think this team is cooked. They're like when, if Dan ever cooked food and he would probably go to the bathroom and forget the food was in the oven. And this team's just bad.
I did that when I lived on my own, by the way.
That them and Columbus have the same amount of points, that Washington has a better goal differential. I get all those things, but I use these things called my eyes to watch hockey, and Washington wins on skill and luck. I don't like the way this team plays. True. I don't like the way this team walks into the locker room. I don't like the way they eat their pregame meals. I just don't like this team. And for me, this team, I would put this team at a D+ just because of how good they were last year and how mediocre they are this year. And even last year, they had this great season. They beat Montreal, which they might have not have beat Montreal if Tom Wilson didn't play as dirty as he did. And then they get absolutely dummied by Carolina. Like, it literally looked like men against boys. And Ovechkin has done time after time what Dan criticizes Matthews for in the playoffs, did absolutely nothing. And I just think this Washington team is not very good. They will not make the playoffs. They should sell. Honestly, I think if I know Ovechkin never would, I think they should trade Ovechkin and just start to rebuild this team. You got to move on. Ovechkin's just not it anymore. He's not.
Wow.
And if you tell me that he's as good as Crosby, then I don't think you're using your things called eyes, even though, Dan, you have nice blue eyes like I do.
Thank you.
I'm just targeting you, Dan, because I know you love this team.
This is my team, bro.
Remember, though, you had the same conversation with me last year when I said the Islanders, if any team was going to make a crazy run, it'd be them, and you told me that I was on drugs, which I wasn't on drugs, by the way. I'm never on drugs. Unless you count caffeine as a drug, then I'm always on it. But I'm going to let Dan go next since I probably just ripped his heart out.
Do you know what, Jacob? You did rip my heart out, but I actually agree with you.
Whoa!
This team was mediocre at best last year, and now they did absolutely nothing. They expected a different result. They got that one guy from Florida that's been a mediocre fourth liner. Okay, whatever. But besides that, they did nothing.
Washington won the Metro last year, by the way, just as a reminder.
Their young guys
last year.
The young guys is getting better. That's great. One big thing this team's really missed this year, and the reason why I think this team has struggled is I never liked the guy before, but Pierre-Luc Dubois has been injured all year, and now he's back, baby. So that's like getting a trade in itself. As a grade, I think his team's buyers. I know it sounds crazy, but they got Ovi. They got to make the playoffs again. I think his team's buyers.
It's not true.
And as a grade, I got to give him a C. Now, do I got to do it? I got to give him a D. They've been really bad.
Dan, I will say this. I'm proud of you for admitting it. The first thing of having a problem is admitting you have one. And Washington's been terrible. They went from winning the Metro last year to probably not making the playoffs.
It's hard.
Up like you wanted to go to the washroom in grade 4. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, this team's bad. I gotta disagree with one thing Dan just said. Pierre-Luc Dubois is horrible. I hate this guy. He's a guy who, like, he comes to your work. He's like, "Hi, I'm gonna be a good employee," and you're like, and in the first 2 weeks, you're like, "This guy is a good employee. He's doing really good. He's following all the rules." And then the second you're like, "Okay, we're gonna take you off probation because and he's like, "Ha ha! Now I'm gonna call it sick for the next 6 months. See ya." It's like my first day on the job. I just don't like this guy. I've never liked him because I feel like he's just I feel like no matter where he's gone, he always does this where he'll have one good season and then he'll be like missing or hurt, and then he comes back and he has this attitude. He thinks he's Connor McDavid. Maybe I'm paraphrasing. He thinks he's so great, and then it's like, well, and then I don't know. I've never liked him. I think he's actually a huge problem in the locker room. Wouldn't be surprised if he got traded in the next 1 or 2 seasons out of Washington. Like, he's been traded almost to everything where he last 2 or 3 seasons. But no, I don't like what this Washington team did. Like, at least Pittsburgh actually did something. They tried to make their team better. You know, Kyle Dubas actually did analyze things. It felt like Washington was just like, let's run it back and make no improvements. Yeah, but just like the Leafs, there was a bunch of holes in your lineup too. Like, you guys won the Metro, but you had, really bad underlying numbers. You guys were another team that kind of got carried by really good goaltending. And on the Leafs had some struggle. Like, I actually kind of think the Leafs in Washington, even though they're far apart in the standings, are kind of another team that's in a similar situation because I feel like they had like underlying numbers, except for just Washington was doing a little bit better than the Leafs, but not by much. Like, I feel like they kind of
They're 2 points ahead of Toronto. I'd say it's pretty comparable. They have 2.
I think they did something similar where they looked at their season last year.
Yeah.
Didn't really look at the underlying numbers. A lot of the advanced statistics where this team actually looked wrong, and they didn't address the needs.
Just out of your point quickly with Pierre-Luc Dubois, with you, Lane, I never liked him before last year. Last year, he did have a career year.
Yeah, but
points. So that's a big gap in missing.
Will it last,
because he was injured this year, right? That's a big piece. You're basically missing a second line center.
Will it last? That's all I'm saying. Will it last? He's done. He always says this. He goes to your new team. He looks at your shiny new toy. He's done this before. He goes to the LA, has a career year, looks like, oh, yay, look at him. He's
He didn't have a
great.
career year in LA, Dan. I mean, sorry, not Dan, Lane. He had 40 points in LA. He had like one of his worst seasons of his career in LA. He was not good in LA at all.
True. Well, we'll see. I still don't like the guy. I'm not a big fan of him.
Yes,
What's
Dan
your
is.
grade, Lane?
I'm saying like a C minus.
C minus. Okay.
I will say Pierre-Luc Dubois would never take Lane out for biscuits and scones. Adam, what's
wouldn't
your
go out
thoughts
with
on
him.
the Washington Capitals?
I'd say no.
What? Sorry. My headphones just died. I did not hear a word you just said.
That's okay, Adam. You know what? This is why I don't like wireless technology.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize my headphones were going to die.
Your thoughts on the Washington Capitals?
Let's think. What do I think of the Washington Capitals are exactly what they were last year. I don't know why people are exactly surprised.
Because last year they won the Metro. I think that's what you guys are forgetting.
Okay,
I did forget.
can I continue before I'm
Yeah.
attacked for my opinion?
I love attacking. I'm in attack mode.
But I just think they got carried again. They got carried by good goaltending last year, but I don't think it's the fact that they didn't solve any of their issues. It's just that there's nothing, it's the fact that despite what Lane, you think Pierre-Luc Dubois is probably their second best center behind Dylan Strome.
Mm-hmm.
And it's shown this year. He's missed all but 7 games. He didn't play great in those 7 games, but he was a big part of why this team was so successful last year. But it's just regression happened for a lot of their players outside of Strome, Ovi, Wilson, Jacob Chikrin having a career year, John Carlson doing what John Carlson does every single season. But I don't know what happened. They are just not. I just think their depth has failed them. I think that's all it is, really, at the end of the day. They're basically what they were last year, but I don't even think it's the goaltending because, despite his record, Logan Thompson has a .912 save percentage. He's an above average goalie in this league. I just think that Ovi's gotten older. Dylan Strome is playing just like Dylan Strome does, but Tom Wilson can't be your best player.
Yeah.
And 2 defensemen can't be in your top 5 goal scorers and expect to win games. It's just depth scoring issue again. They're like a C. They're exactly what I thought they were last year, which is they got lucky. And here we are, exactly what I thought they were going to be again. They ran out of luck. At the end of the day, you run out of luck.
They need.
I don't think there's any one issue to point out, and there's no issue with any player that you could point out to say that this is the reason that they suck this year.
So let's move on to the last team in the Metro that we need to speak about.
Yeah,
And this one is a little more interesting.
I like it. Yeah, it's interesting.
When I look at the Flyers, they're a very young team who, 8 points out of a playoff spot. They've not been it's kind of hard to say they've been good or not in their last 10. You could argue they've only won 3 games in the last 10, but they have points in 6 out of their last 10. So they're in a weird spot. The goal differential is not very good, but Vidar has been playing pretty well.
Bedard.
I think
Bedard, sorry.
I think with Philly, you only buy if they're players that you feel you can try to keep and bring in long term. There's rumors that they're really interested in Dennis Hildeby. I think a move like that would make perfect sense for them. Hope Toronto doesn't trade him, but I think Philly's in a weird spot for me on that. For me, the team's a B overall. They're a bit better than last year. Nothing really spectacular, nothing really terrible. I still think they're probably 3-4 years away until they're a real competitive hockey club. And nothing excites me about this team. That's all I got to say. They're a B. They're okay because they're okay.
Can I go, Jacob? Can I go next? I'm always last, which makes me feel sad.
I was last the first couple of teams.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying it makes me sad. I just wanted to go second because my opinion's pretty quick.
Save the best of luck.
Philly suck. Why is anybody surprised by that at all? Philly or just Philly?
No,
They're the
this is
same
not.
team. It's the same team they were last year. Like it's just like, and it's another team that has the same issue that keeps coming up. It's that they have Konechny, they have Zegras, and then they have nothing. Nobody else stands out on this team. Matvei Michkov is supposed to be like I think Matvei Michkov is going to be a good player. I think he does have the ability to be that player. Whether it's just been mismanagement by coaching again this season, or whether it's he's having a harder time adjusting to the league. Because he didn't play a lot in the KHL. If you didn't know, he didn't play a hell of a lot with his team in the KHL. But like, you got the 14-point drop off between Owen Tippett, who, no offense to Owen Tippett,
Could not be your third best player.
He can't be your third best player. He's not that great of a player. Christian Dvorak, again, he can't be your fourth best player in terms of points. Like Sean Couturier, who's not expected to put up a lot of points, isn't. You're getting no offense from your defensemen outside of Travis Sanheim and Jamie Drysdale. Shout out to Jamie Drysdale. Love Jamie Drysdale. But like, you got like Tyson Forrester, who's been out injured for a large part of the season. Nikita Grabeckin, who's been playing pretty well for them. But like, you got like a lot of young players who got minutes early in the season, and you got a young team who is obviously not gelling. They need to figure out what's going on with Matvei Michkov, because he is not looking great this year. He looks like he's just completely regressed. But like Dan Velarde, like, cannot be your best goalie. No offense to Dan Velarde.
Good, but
no, but I'm saying he can't be your best goalie and expect to be good in this league. Of course I'm right, Jacob, because I'm always right.
Except when you're
right.
Wow.
You got goal scoring, you got problems scoring you got problems scoring goals, and you got problems keeping the puck out of the net. It's a recipe for disaster. And this team is like average at best. It was average heading into this year. They haven't looked any better than what they were last year. It's just like, I think they need to look again at what they're trying to do, because it's not particularly working, and they need to figure out like what the issue is, and they need to nip it in the butt, because you can't have your top prospect playing like poop.
Because you said you didn't have much to say, and you had a lot to say about them.
Oh, sorry, I didn't really mean to go on a tirade about the same thing.
That's just kind of interesting. But I'm going to make you go crazy.
No, you're not.
Totally disagree with you. No disrespect. Okay. I think you got to give the Philadelphia Flyers a grade letter of a C+, because the year has not been overly successful. But I think this team's going to be very good in the next year or two. I love the fact they got Travis Zegras. I love the fact they got Dan Velarde. I think Christian Dvorak, we overpaid him a tiny bit at $5.4 million, but he's got 33 points. He's played incredible this year. I really like all the young guys they got, all the young Wesson guys on this team. They got leadership like Travis Konechny and Travis Sanheim. I think his team is actually very good. It's just, unfortunately, what they did didn't work. So for that, I say, unfortunately, his team has to sell, and I'm going to give him a C+. Which I know is kind of weird, because everything I said this kind of contradict each other, but that sums up this whole team this season.
Fair enough. Mr. Lane Dashing Dashco, I hope you're not sad since you had to go last this time.
No, I'm never me sad. Don't know what that means.
Lane.
Hello.
Go ahead.
I'm actually, I don't mean Adam don't really get along half the time, but I'm actually going to agree with Adam here. This has been a horrible season, and the fact that we talked about earlier with the Islanders and how they got to give them credit with their rookie. They brought him in, he's been fit. What the heck happened with Matvei Michkov? How do you let this guy show up fat, out of shape? He can't skate. He can't walk to the corner store to get himself a piece of broccoli. What the hell happened, man? He's got to play. Can't play. Put him on the ice. He's like, sweating and dying. Like, what happened? You're supposed to take care of these kids. Keep them on.
Apparently, he's only 172 pounds.
Well, it doesn't. He may have gained 172 pounds in the offseason. I don't know what happened. Like, and I'm calling them out because at the end of the day, you're the NHL. You're a professional
Sophomore
organization.
slump.
No, it's on the organization. You're supposed to keep these kids. Your job, like when you're drafted, this is true. You can look at it. The jobs of these medical teams and teams that are there to put these rookies on a track to success. Right? They're supposed to keep them in top mental physical shape. Make sure they're doing their back skates. Make sure they're doing their their workouts and everything. And for some reason, they have completely dropped the bag on this kid and have set him up to now be failing in the NHL. And he could be another one of these kids that is going to be out of the NHL in 3 or 4 years, because he can't turn it around. And I'm going to call it the not taking care of this organization. And we've heard of them doing that before with other players, that they're not so in on it like how other organizations are. And it's not good, because now you have a kid that you thought could be a top prospect, and now he's out of shape. He can't skate. He can't score. He's falling behind in his career instead of advancing. And I'm going to call the organization out on that. I'm sorry, I just am.
Wow. So no one agreed with me if Philly's done it good.
Actually, though, Dan, funny enough, I had Philly at a higher grade than you did, because I think Philly in 2 to 3 years is good. Actually, I said 3 to 4, but I think 3 to 4 years the team's going to be really good. I think they'll either figure out what to do with Mitchkov, or they'll move on from it and it'll be good somewhere else, because Mitchkov has had a huge drop off. I mean, last year I thought he was really turning the corner. Last year had a pretty good rookie season at 26 goals, 37 assists, 63 points.
Arguably rookie of the year.
55. He's got 13, 16, 29. So yeah, but I mean, I think it's fair to say, though, the Metro, when you at an overall assessment of the Metro, I think the assessment is very top heavy, but the bad teams are really bad. It's not like the Atlantic, where you kind of feel like most of the teams are at least decent.
Yeah.
Like the Metro has some of the best and some of the worst teams in the NHL in it. But there you have it. That is the Metropolitan Division and graded system. Like, we were a 6th grade science teacher.
Yeah.
And
are you smarter than a 5th grade? I guess we are, because you're in grade 6.
I am not smarter than a 5th grader. No.
Why are you grade 6 then?
Have you ever played that game for the PlayStation 2? I swear it's haunted.
It's hard. Yeah, it's a hard game.
That's a bad game.
Thank you very much, Phil, for joining.
No way grade 5 to know the answer to half of the questions.
I know.
I get it.
But thank you very much, everyone, for joining us at the Analyst Desk. Every day feels like game day. Remember, this is part 2. We still have to break down the Central and the Pacific and the West. So, not a Chrysler Pacifica, though. We don't need to break that down. They break down all on their own. I'm just kidding. I'm sure. But thank you very much for joining us at the Analyst Desk. Joined by the amazing crew, as always. Joined by Mr. More for your money. Woo! Wade Dashing Dashco. And the man with many names, Adam the Goat. Until next time, thank you for joining us at the Analyst Desk, where every day feels like game day.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Bye-bye.